Welcome to the Chatline podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Missy.
And we're here to give you the rundown on the latest celebrity drama and our own crazy lives. So let's get into it.
Yes. Okay, so today I was so excited before Sunday, let's say. I was so excited to catch you up on the Traitors because I know you have a hate relationship with it and I have a love relationship with it. So I was so excited to force you into talking about that. And then I was so excited to talk to you about Married at First Sight in Australia because they have lost their minds and I keep sending you videos about that. So I was so excited. Then I wanted to talk more about Blake Lively and Justin because I saw a picture of him with short hair. Yep. And I was like, wait a minute, I actually do know this guy, and ended up looking up some stuff. Yeah, so I was going to talk to you all about that. But then Sunday happened.
Yes.
And we have to talk about the Grammys, right?
Yeah. So they kind of stuck up on me this year. I don't normally watch them, but normally I know stuff happens. So I'm always looking for that. But this year was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And we have tons to talk about. So I didn't know if you wanted to get right into the whole Kanye and Bianca of it all, or if you wanted to talk about everything first and then end with them. It's totally your call, because I have so much to say about all of it, and I'm sure you do too.
I'm too excited. I want to get into the Kanye and Bianca.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. So do you want to give us the rundown, or what do you want to do?
I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Okay, so Bianca, because I didn't know who she was, not really, I knew Kanye had been seeing her, but I didn't know that they were married. So they're married now, and this is his wife after he divorced Kim. So
well,
that's who
hang on. After Kim divorced Kanye, right?
I don't know who divorced who.
Yeah.
I think you're right, actually.
Sorry. I just was like, whoa, we're going to get sued.
Wait a minute.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, go on. They divorced.
They're divorced. I think you're right, though.
Yeah.
And she is someone who has been in the celeb world for a minute. She's not new to this, which I think is important to know. She is a model, has been in the fashion world. But I think
sorry, she's originally from Australia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think she's 27, which is quite a bit younger than Kanye, right?
Yeah, I read she was 30. You keep going with your story and let me just double check. Okay. It's all good. That doesn't matter.
We know that Kanye is super big into fashion. It's one of his passion projects along with music. And she, of course, is a fashion model. But the big drama that happened with them is this red carpet moment where she's wearing this big fur coat. They're walking out together. He's just kind of in plain black sunglasses, black shirt, black pants kind of look. And she's in this massive fur coat. So they walk out and they're there's the speculation is they're looking at each other. He whispers something in her ear and she's shaking her head no. And finally they're posing for these pictures and they look at each other and she's what? And he's do it. And she takes off the coat. And I don't know if you have seen the videos because all of them are blurred. And this is funny because I think her last name is Sensori.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know if she was playing into that on purpose, but she takes off the coat and everyone's oh, it's a very strapless dress because she's turning away from them. It's her back. And then she continues to take it off. And then you see her butt crack, everything.
And then she turns around.
Yes. Yeah. And you're what? After that, they were immediately escorted off the red carpet by police.
Now, see, I heard they got inside.
Oh.
And then were asked to leave.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, of course, they were at after parties as well.
Right.
In a different outfit, but similar. Have you seen that one?
I've seen that outfit. And everyone's oh, well, she normally does this kind of stuff. You should expect this from her. This is normal for her. Even before Kanye, because everyone's oh, Kanye, is making her do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Just because you did something in the past, just because you did something like that, does not mean that now every time you're comfortable with doing that. And that kind of verbiage that's being spread, oh, she did this before, so this is normal for her. She's comfortable with this. She's not being whatever. She's not forced to do this. That's so harmful on so many levels for so many reasons.
That is so true. Yeah.
Yes, and it goes into like all kinds of deep things, but just because it happened one time and you were okay with it one time does not
Mm-hmm.
mean that every time now you are good with it.
That's a
So,
really good point. Yeah.
yeah. And that's like, it's like made me upset because like I posted that video and all those comments are like that. They're like, well, she's done this
Mm.
before. This shouldn't surprise you. What? That doesn't, no, that's
Mm.
not okay. And that's why we still have problems with the things that we do today
Yeah.
because of that kind of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. That being my little caveat, I have looked at the videos. I
Uh-huh.
have, as more continues to like come out and more analyzing like continues to come out.
Yes. And none
I'll,
of them are the same. Can we say that? No lip
yes.
reader is saying the same thing.
No, they're all saying different things. And some of the lip readers are saying too many words for what the mouth is saying.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So some of these lip readers are like, she's telling Kanye, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And Kanye's like, you better do it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
other people are like, no, she's shaking her head like, are you sure? Are you sure we should do this kind of thing? I personally think because the detail of her being involved in this kind of world, like being familiar
Yeah.
with fame
Yeah.
and Kanye being familiar with fame and trained in that kind of thing, as well as like that, both of them being familiar with this.
Right.
And them being escorted off, because I think that is such an important detail.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was very planned, and I think this was like meant to be a shocker moment because the reason they were escorted off is because neither one of them were formally invited to the Grammys.
Right.
So they weren't supposed to be there. I think after watching the videos, and I'm not saying that she wasn't forced to do this, so if that happens and that comes out, yeah, then that's horrible. And I'm not saying that there's not a power dynamic there that shouldn't be there. Absolutely. Because he's a mega star and she is not, even though she's used to this kind of world.
Right. Yeah.
I think they were like, we're not invited. Let's go make a splash, like a party crasher kind of thing. And I think based on the videos I've seen in the multiple angles that have come out where she's like kind of smiling, like happy about it, I think she was like, are you sure now is the time? Are you sure we should do it now? And he's like, okay, let's do it. And then she like reveals that shocker moment right before they're escorted out. So that way they had the time before they were escorted, before they're like, no, you're not invited. You can't be here kind of thing. So I think it was on purpose from both of them because now everyone is talking about Kanye and Bianca. Everyone is all about that. It's the #1 search on TikTok right now.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah. I am so glad we're on the same page because I didn't think we were going to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you were going to be like, he forced her to do it, but, all this kind of stuff. And I honestly thought of 3 scenarios that could have happened, and I'm sure there's many more. One, of course, is exactly what everyone wants us to believe, that he forced her, she didn't want to, blah, 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 right? That is absolutely a possibility. The other one that I thought about is that they both loved the idea. She got nervous about it.
Yeah.
And was like, oh my word, I don't think I want to do this. Let them just guess what's under this coat. I'm, not going to do this. And he was encouraging her. Yeah, girl, now's the time. Do it.
Yep.
And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I've got you. I've seen several lip readers say that he did say, like, I've got you. And then she did it, right? Because she does not look nervous once she is showing it all. She looks like she knows that she is gorgeous and is very, loud and proud.
Yes.
And then I also thought because she is of Australian origin, I've personally never been to Australia, but I, have relatives who've spent a lot of time there. And it was years and years ago, so maybe Australia is not like this now. But at the time, she was like, it's so shocking to pick up a magazine. Like we would do like here, like Vogue or something in the US. And, you open it up and it's full nudity. It's full language on all the TV shows. There's no like warning of like TV 14 or surely there's a warning. But I mean, the way she talked, there wasn't. It was like commercials and everything. And so culturally, she could have been just raised in such a way of where, nudity is just not viewed the same as it is here. And so you would be incredibly comfortable with things that shock Americans.
Yes.
I also saw someone say, let me just give you the other one you pretty much covered, like about, like the lip reader. You covered those scenarios, about, you don't know. And, it was kind of planned. Yeah. So
it's different.
Yes, and it could be one or all of it smashed together in some way, but she did not look upset at the after parties. They
No.
looked like it had gone just according to plan.
Yes.
And then I thought about, well, what's her next move? And I
Mhm.
thought, well, the next move is obvious, right? You wear the same type of faux fur black coat next year. You're both walking down the red carpet, whether you're invited or not.
Yep.
And you turn around and you do the same off the shoulder deal, but you open up to this incredible, beautiful dress. And then you're still going to go viral because they're going to be like, she did it again? Nope. You know, it's going to be building on that, which would be so smart for her. And may I say that I have heard that she looks like Kim Kardashian, but I had never really seen her until.
Well, now you've seen her.
Right. I've seen a little too much of her. But I mean, she really is like dead on, is she not? Like, she's a beautiful woman. I don't think anybody can deny that.
Right.
She's gorgeous. Yeah. I'm amazed that you and I are on the same page about it. But I really like your point about just because she's done it in the past does not mean that she wanted to, or that, you know, it means she's going to be okay with having a movie deal 10 years from now where they're like, oh, well, we want full nudity. And she's going to be like, no.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, well, you've done it before. Why not now? I mean, we do have agency over our bodies and what we say and what we do every minute of every day. And it can change.
Yes.
Man or woman, it can change.
Yes. Yes. In the moment, it can change in the moment. It can change years later. It can, it is something that fluctuates, but.
Yes. Especially after kids.
Yeah. So when you talked about the difference in Australia versus like here, that was really, like, I forgot about that. Like when we took I took this with my school trip and I went, you know, to a private Christian school. So they were like, you know, do this, even though things were like legal or not legal or whatever. But there was lots of safeguarding there for many different reasons. But when we took our trip to Europe, there was like, we would be in a gas station and it was like full nudity commercial, like just a normal commercial for like perfume or something. And like like it was just like showing everything. And so like there's lots of like warning from our teachers, like, oh, like avert your eyes. But it was shocking, and it was shocking like what you'd hear and like what you'd see. But I've heard that it's shocking for people like coming to the US and seeing like video games and movies with like such like gore and violence.
You're right. I've heard that too.
So it's just interesting like what the differences in like culture are from like even like I don't think of like Australia as being like a super different culture, you know, but it is.
Yeah. Well, I also want to just bring up, I saw somebody who has the TikTok handle called What Words That Lift Up, right?
Yeah.
I think someone around. And they just made a comment and it said, the most disturbing thing about this is the fact that the press just kept snapping. At what point do we just say no?
Wow.
And I got thinking about that so hardcore. I was like, oh my word, what if every one of the photographers and reporters and whoever was there just turned their backs?
Yeah. Wow.
And, I mean, that's profound, isn't it? Like if they really thought that she was being controlled.
Right. It's just propagating that.
Yeah.
That's actually insane to think about and horrible because I don't think there's a level where they would stop because, you know, celebrities talk about this too, like not being able to like live their life normally because of the paparazzi. But I mean, these are professional photographers at an event. I don't even think they're necessarily paparazzi, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was paparazzi there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say so. Anyway, it's just an interesting thought, right? Like we can complain, we can feel bad for her because Kanye's controlling her, but we don't have to. If you and I were there and really thought that, I'm going to be honest and say I would keep snapping the picture because I would be so surprised and I wouldn't know what to do. And we would just post. I'm going to take you out of this. I would just post it censored, right? I would put the, lines across or whatever and try to get the clickbait and try to, I would, right? Because that's our society. I'm being honest.
Your $1 million photo. Yeah.
Right. But yet I felt really bad for realizing that's who I've become in our culture,
Yeah.
very confusing to me, like why that's okay.
And we put them in like this position. It's like, oh, they're celebrities. They're used to this. She did this on purpose. This is what she wants, without ever considering, that there's something else going on. And if we had truly thought that in the moment, even though our opinions right now are something different, we would have, that's crazy. Because even if those photographers thought that in the moment, I guarantee, and I'm not speaking for every photographer. I hope there's one out there who was like, wait a minute, what is going on here? But they were all thinking like, oh, this is going to be such like a paycheck, like a huge paycheck. Like, I'm going to get this angle. I'm going to get this photo. This is insane. And I bet there were even more camera flashes than there were previously, because it's such a, and again, that's, I think, part of the motivation behind it is because like they know how everyone's going to react,
Yes.
On top of that. So it was the Grammys that this was happening at. So I don't know if you know about like the Kanye Taylor Swift kind of feud that was going on at the Grammys like a couple years back.
Okay. It had to do with Beyonce, correct?
Yes.
And he like did not like that Taylor won an award, correct?
Yes. And he like came up on stage and interrupted Taylor's like congratulations speak, and he was like, actually, thank you, Beyonce. Like, we need to talk about Beyonce. She should have won this album, whatever. So that started like this like feud between him and Taylor. But then Taylor, like the next time she was on stage, she was like, let's talk about how great Kanye is. He makes some of the best music, and was like, talking about him. I think she was like kind of taking the higher road in that moment.
Yes.
But there's also like a feud between them with back when he was with Kim, something about like he called Taylor and was like, is it okay if I put this in this song? And Taylor was like, I mean, if that's your true experience, like kind of upset about it, but like said, okay. And that created this like feud where Taylor was like, no, I never said okay, but Kanye had secretly recorded that conversation. So it was like a bunch of stuff. And then this past album that Taylor released, the Tortured Poets Department.
Okay. Sure.
That album, she has a song called Thank You, Amy, but the only letters that are capitalized spell out Kim. So it's her saying like, you're just going to be a bully. This isn't going to take me down. I built something bigger than what you can take down
in the world.
Yes. So that's like the Kardashian West Swift feud that's been going on these past couple of years. Right before the Grammys, Kanye unfollowed everybody on his Instagram except for Taylor Swift. He followed Taylor Swift. So when you looked at his profile, the only person he was following was Taylor. And everyone was like, what does this mean? It got everyone paying attention to his account. Monday morning, the only person he's following is his wife. I think knowing the Grammy timing, knowing what he was going to do and what Bianca was going to do with the dress, I think this is a way to like kickstart Bianca's like A-list status, because now everyone's checking like, is Kanye really only following Taylor? And it's his wife's account, which is Bianca's account.
That makes so much sense.
Yes. And because it didn't make any sense why he followed Taylor other than to stir up like more drama, news and buzz about this.
Yeah. Looking at his account. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, he's got a good marketing team.
Yep. And it's not going back to what we were saying about him and if he was like influential in what she was wearing or not. I'm pretty sure he designed her dress. I'm pretty sure he was the designer. But like when he was with Kim, he was always talking about what she's wearing, what she's going to wear, whatever. And I don't know if that's in a controlling manner or if he is just like, super into this marketing thing and he's trying to like boost Kim's image at the time and now boosting Bianca's. Because of the thing with Instagram, the thing with her dress, it seems like attention is being like shoved to Bianca. Of course he's involved in it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot to that we could go into, because as you know, I watched the Kardashians for years and years, not from the beginning, but from years and years. And so again, highly edited versions of their lives. But I never got the feeling at the time that Kim didn't want to wear what Kanye wanted her to. It was almost like she trusted his style instincts more than her own. Yes. Which was interesting because I was like, I'm pretty sure you could do better than Kanye. I mean, like, it's just a style choice, right? And I remember after they got divorced, she was curating with, I think it was Dolce & Gabbana.
Yes.
And she was really nervous about it because her stylist that she works with got caught because she didn't bring her passport. I mean, can you even imagine? But anyway, forgot her passport, Whether or not that was a stunt so that Kim would just do this on her own, I don't know. But, like she got a lot of her confidence by Dolce & Gabbana, like helping her, not helping her, but curating with her and trusting her, right?
Yeah.
So it was always interesting to me that Kanye had that much control over how she dressed, but it came across that it was her, like trusting him more for what was relevant at the time.
So I just rewatched like the Kardashians because they premiere, is it tomorrow? No.
Do they really?
Yes, their fifth season or their new season of the Kardashians on Hulu comes out February 6th. So I've been so excited for it. But I just watched that season where she was working with Dolce & Gabbana, and she had talked about, she literally, like, not verbatim, but literally said, like, I was, like, dependent on Kanye so much for my style that now I'm, like, she has this passion for fashion and wants to, like, grow her, I guess, like, status and confidence in that. But that was, working with the Dolce & Gabbana show was so, like, nerve-wracking for her. And I literally just watched a video this morning of her, like, in this, like, black, like, diamond gown. And she was like, I really like this. I'm really feeling myself. And whoever was, like, her impromptu stylist was like, no, we should go with the other dress. And she stood her ground and was like, no, I like this dress. We're going to wear it. And I think that was, like, kind of the beginning of, like, seeing her, like, pick out her own outfits and not, like, run to Kanye for his, like, opinions on things. Which I don't necessarily know if that means, like, Kanye was controlling or if he just kind of assumed this role of, I know what I'm doing. And she was just like, okay, yeah, like, I trust you.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And so can you imagine being Bianca, 30 years old, 27, whatever. I think she is 30, but it doesn't matter. Young, right? Young. And so, not to you, to me, she's young. And, Kanye being able to say, look what I did for Kim style.
Right.
Right? Would you not literally hand over the reins to him? Like, if that's their goal? I don't know. It's very complicated and complex. Yeah. And we wish Bianca the best.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I wish you the best, girl.
Yeah. I hope you were all hands-on in this. I hope that this was, like, a plan that you were fully, like, comfortable with and wanted to do. And I hope it spiraled, like, I hope it rocket launches your career.
Yes.
I hope this works.
I was going to say something really rude, but I'm not. You know what? Even that, like, going back and forth could have been completely planned, right? Because she literally, when she turns around, she's in character. People say she's disassociating. I disagree with that. Do you feel like she looked like she was disassociating from the moment?
I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen her from, like, the turnaround reveal. I've only seen her, like, start to, like, smile from, like, taking off, like, the coat. But
girl,
she seems like excited and happy, nervous, but excited and happy. Yeah.
Everybody's nervous even with clothes on.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the
Grammys.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you watch any of the Grammys? Like,
I did not watch it live. No, I was literally laying in bed at, like, midnight and I was, like, scrolling through all the Grammy drama.
Yeah. And you're like, oops. Okay. Well, I accidentally saw it. Like, it was not my intention. We were scrolling through TV and big Paramount Plus people right now because I like the FBI shows or whatever. I'm trying to think of what else is on there. It doesn't matter. But anyway, and it just, it will pop up like what is live on CBS at that moment. And I was like, the Grammys. And it had been on for maybe 20 minutes or so. And so press live and Mark's like, we're watching the Grammys? I'm like, yeah, I think we are. But there were so many commercials. Like,
really?
My word. Like, it was ridiculous.
Okay, but were they the LA specific small business?
There was a lot of that, but no, I'm talking about Mark. I really thought it was going to be like the Oscars in that, like, they give you a lot of commercials at the beginning. And then, like, towards the end, like, it's all kind of boom, 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 boom. So, like, if you didn't stay up to midnight, you missed all of the Oscars, basically. You just saw the commercials. But the Grammy, to me, seemed like a lot of commercials. But I will tell everyone, if I can get a streaming service without commercials, I pay anything I have to not to watch a commercial. So I'm probably not the one to judge. But yes, there was a lot of LA Fire stuff, which was, of course, very touching. Like, every other word out of the host mouth was, there's that QR code. Yes, and the small businesses, like, that was very inspiring. But man, just the flat out commercials. And then it felt very disjointed to me as well. And I don't know if that's normal, but it was almost like, I don't know, like a long time, like several years ago, I watched the Miss, oh my goodness, I can't remember if it was America or USA, but I actually had a second cousin who was Miss Kentucky. And so I paid for the pageant, whatever, like month to get to watch her because it was not on like a network. It just wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I'm sorry, but it was not a good production. It was like, what has happened? Like, it was weird. It felt local. Let me say that. It felt local.
Okay. Interesting.
And so, yeah. And so the Grammys wasn't quite that bad, but I was trying to give them all the benefit of the doubt. And I thought maybe it's because they're trying to fit all the fire stuff in there, wasn't planned. And so they're just trying to piece all this together. But I think a good example is, because I was kind of dozing through the commercials. I was like, and I would wake up and I'd be like, who's that? Mark would ask Siri, and Siri didn't even know half the time who we were looking at. But it wasn't like, they wouldn't like have like a marquee down like who this was, or
that's interesting.
Like our names are at the bottom of the screen right now. I would think if I were an artist, I would be like, hey, let's do something like that, which the new girl rapper did. Oh my word, what is her name? Something with a D.
Oh, Dochi? Is it Dochi?
Yeah.
Dochi?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. She's impressive. Whoa.
Yes, she is.
She's impressive. She did. She had it like behind her the whole time. And I'm like, good job. Good job, girl. Okay. But anyway, one of the examples of like just, to me, weird production was the host. I think his name was Trevor. He says, is it Trevor? Now I'm doubting.
I don't know who the host was, to be honest.
Anyway, supposedly he's done it for 4 years. But anyway, so he goes, after commercial break, you're going to have a surprise. Whoa. And I was like, okay. So I think I kind of dozed during the commercials, just being honest. And I look up and it's Lady Gaga and it's a whole video of her. Like, I think it's from her new album. I never heard this song before. And it just kept going and going and going. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I bet this was the surprise.
Yeah.
Like Lady Gaga video. And then they just went back to the Grammys and went on about the business.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
so I hope.
Didn't you enjoy that video?
Like, wasn't that cool? And I mean, maybe I'm just forgetting, but I was like, we just kind of moved along. It was weird.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe someone can comment and say, no, girl, you missed a whole 5-minute monologue. You must have been asleep. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But it was just things like that felt very disjointed to what I would think like an award show as big as the Grammys would be.
It wasn't like her performance. It was a pre-recorded video?
It was a video. Yeah. Like, because there was like 2 sets of dancers and, okay, can I go out? You are going to die for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I'm actually really mad about something that I saw about this video.
About the Gaga video?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to keep it? Do you want me to keep it to myself?
No. I want you to tell me. Is it the song with Bruno Mars?
No, that was amazing.
Because I love that song.
My word. California Dreamin', they were so good. Like, both of them were just really good artists. I mean,
love that song. I get so emotional every time I hear it. And every time it comes on, Wesley will be like, this is the worst song I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, I'm thinking about you this whole time. And you're like, this is the worst thing.
That's hilarious. I remember banging it out on the piano, like, California. So I don't have the best memories of it, but I thought they did amazing. Yeah. No, listen, controversial for sure.
Okay.
There are Lady Gaga songs I will listen to all the time because of the beat, right? I used to be a runner. I'm huge into anything that will get me going, right? Okay, so I saw a TikToker that was saying that no Christian should watch the Grammys and no Christian should watch Lady Gaga video because she put a spell on everybody. And it made me so mad because I was like, really? So no Christian should ever walk around and hear anything because they're scared of some spell that someone's going to put on you? What about greater is he that is in me and in you than he that is in the world? I mean, I'm actually really ticked about the fear mongering of,
Yeah.
making people not watch things in pop culture just because we're scared that they're going to cast some spell on us.
Yes. There is a difference between, having your discernment about what is okay for you and, what is okay for someone else. And I think that is, again, a very hard line to determine what is like you're denying like conviction versus like,
Yeah.
so that's a whole separate thing. But you cannot live your life like that, because how are you supposed to connect to people? I think there is a fine line between being, using things like that for your popularity because you're a Christian influencer who's scaring people to death and they're just like looking for what is the right thing to do. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
crazy.
Sorry. I'll get off my soapbox.
No,
But I've been so mad about it all morning. I'm just like, anyway.
No, that's crazy.
Okay. Did you see Benson Boone? Like, are you familiar with him?
Love Benson Boone. I love it.
I do too. Apparently he jumps off like the piano like that every time. But I was like, my word. I was like, I don't get what you're wearing, but you are an amazing singer.
Yes.
I would love to see. He would be so fun to go to a concert.
He came to Knoxville. Yes. He came to Knoxville maybe like a year and a half ago. And we tried to get tickets, but they were like $700 a piece. And at the time we were like, we just can't. But man.
Well, yeah. Now they're going to be $2,500,
Yes. And good for him. Good for him. He deserves it. His music is so good and so sweet. And it's just wholesome music. It's good music. Yeah.
To be honest, he started singing that song. This is how, like, I'm so bad with names. And I apologize, sir, Mr. Boone, wherever you are. But I thought Imagine Dragons sang that. I was like, didn't Imagine Dragons sing? And I was like, wait a minute. Maybe they covered this song. Maybe he covers this song. I've looked it up. No, I'm just wrong. I'm just completely wrong. It's all Benson Boone the whole time. Yeah.
Song is it? I'm trying to think.
See, I could bust out, but I'm not going to. It's just so good. Just look it up. Yeah, it's so good. But anyway, didn't see him, bless him, like grab himself afterwards. I saw it live, like trying to pull his jumpsuit down. It's like, but I mean, he admitted it, right? He just was like, y'all, this is to protect, future family. I had to do something. And then I saw a TikToker. It was so funny. She's like, everybody's going so crazy about him grabbing, stuff to be comfortable to adjust things. She said, obviously nobody has watched a Major League Baseball game in a minute. Because I was like, that is a really good point. Yeah. That's a really good point.
I love, like, when they
don't care.
When they ripped away his tux, I thought that was like such a like good moment. Yeah. And Heidi Klum. Yeah.
It's so funny because I was like, I spotted her and I was like, why is Heidi there? Like, I was like, what's going on with Heidi? Were they not like circulating those people on different tables at different times? Because it felt like it.
I don't know if that like arena, I don't know if that room was just so big that we were like, we were seeing different parts at different, I don't know. But it felt like people were not in the same like air, like move. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then also, have you seen all the controversy with Jaden Smith? Will Smith's
Jaden?
Jaden.
Yeah,
because Jada's his mama, right?
Yeah. So was that the one who wore the house on her? Okay, what was the controversy over that? I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to say all of this. Well, yes, they've compared it with pictures of P. Diddy's house. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And it is eerily similar, but he himself has said, Mr. Smith has said that it came from an artist who is inspired by Transylvania folklore. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, it's wild to think about. Like, I've seen, since we've talked, I think it's going to be on the podcast, like, because we're moving this one up.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's so exciting. The next podcast, is it when we talk about Justin Bieber and the yummy, yummy, yummy? Or has that already been posted?
No, I think we already posted that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I saw that last night. Like, it just came across. And I was like, oh, my word. And then I started seeing all this stuff about Jaden Smith or else vice versa. You know what I mean? One of the algorithms got me to see the other. But they were just like all the things that Jaden has alluded to.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, right?
No, that's so on there's no way that it just happens to look like at the Grammys when you're, this artist is inspired by Transylvania. You're wearing a house on your face where no one is going to miss it.
Right.
No, that was so wow.
Yeah, you need look up
Yeah.
the comparison pictures. And some people might think you're reaching, but I mean, he couldn't do a dead on situation. You know what I mean? That would be you have to, it's artistic, right? Artistic license. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this goes back to what you were saying about the Lady Gaga stuff. And because I'm a little bit crazy, and I can't remember if we've posted the episodes where we get a little bit into it.
I don't think we have. I think we doubt.
We should post them. I do think, and I'm going to sound crazy, but I do think that there are things that are more occult than we realize in, Hollywood and in mainstream media. Like we talked about, I don't remember if this was posted or not, but frequencies and things that can hurt versus heal and that kind of thing. And most of modern day, music being put in a hurt or harmful type of frequency. So I think there's a fine balance between, this is a song that's hurtful for whatever reason, spiritually, mentally, whatever, they're literally just talking about stuff that is harmful or, other deeper stuff into it versus, being mindful of what we're around. But the house, I'm sorry, I can't get over that. The house being similar to P. Diddy's house. That's so was he saying that he would been hurt, had been at those parties? What was he saying? What's the what are people saying he's saying?
Well, my understanding, and I did not do a deep dive on it because I knew we would have enough to talk about today, is that in the past, he's alluded to things that he was around when he was really young. I'm thinking 5 or 6. And my understanding, allegedly, is that, Will was there at a lot of things, his dad, and he was with his dad. And nothing has been vocally confirmed by any source, but it will be, I don't want to say it will be interesting in that we want to know, but I don't know another word to use. It will be interesting to see which one of those kids is the first one to break about what really happened there. If they're waiting on each other, if they're waiting on the lawsuit, if they just haven't gone through enough therapy yet. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see if one of those more famous children that allegedly have been through some really horrible things with industry people.
Yeah.
If one of them starts talking, if all of a sudden we're going to see them all start talking.
Well, talking about industry stuff, did you see Chapel Roan's speech when she won?
Yes.
Yes. And
I saw that live. Yeah.
That's amazing. She sat down her Grammy.
Yes. And went through her book I mean, people, especially the newer artists, were clapping, and I was thinking, well, she's lucky she already got that Grammy because I don't know what else is going to happen, girl. Yeah, you talk about an entertainer. That girl can entertain.
Yes.
We're not talking about lifestyle. We're not talking about, I mean, just as far as an entertainer, she's very gifted.
Yes.
And then did you see Ray, one of the newer artists as well?
I don't, wait. Is he
is in a man? Black? No, it's a woman. She's got short black hair, and she was wearing this gorgeous black slinky looking dress.
Okay, I may have seen images of her, but I don't know who she is necessarily. Okay. Yeah.
So she has a voice. I'd never heard her sing before. She has a voice that is unreal. And I was thinking about that. I thought, okay, so she's because she was nominated in the same category as Chapel Roan. And so it was this woman, whoa. I was sitting there going, this cannot be real. But she bugged me.
Why?
Because, oh my word, it was so distracting. Her mic, she would go
just back.
I'm just moving it back and forth. Sorry for those who aren't watching. Just constantly, she would hit a note, switch it, hit it, switch. It was so distracting. Huh. Everything else I loved about her. I mean, she like had the mic cord wrapped around her head and was like, you know, all cool and clean. But man, she just kept swapping that mic. It drove me nuts.
You said hold it still.
Yes. I'm like, what in the world? I don't know. But Adele is probably my favorite female vocalist. Like, just boom, Adele. Yes. But she might be climbing up there. Like, for real. Like, she's just from that one song I heard, she's incredibly talented.
I want to know what she's Ray
R-A-Y-E. Yeah.
I want to know what she sings. Yeah. I want to know what she's got.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another reason why I like to watch the Grammys, because I'm so behind. Like, I don't know who people are and what they're like. That whole thing. My word. Is it Kendrick Lamar? No. What's his name?
Yeah, with not like, did you not know about
And everybody was
Aries?
like, oh, he just looked Drake right in the eye and all this. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I didn't know any of that.
Okay, we are going to make, this is going to be a two-parter episode, okay?
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning into part 1, but okay, my gosh. So we were so excited with this episode that we actually went way beyond our normal hour, and so we have decided to make this into 2 parts. So thank you for watching part 1, and part 2 will be available on whatever platform you were watching it right after this one. Thank you again for tuning in. It really helps our channel when you like and subscribe, so we really appreciate it. Stay tuned for part 2.